The 2025 Canadian Grand Prix delivered drama, heartbreak, and a jarring moment that could have ripple effects far beyond the circuit. For McLaren fans, this race was supposed to be another chapter in what's become a thrilling title campaign. But instead, it ended with a scenario no team principal ever wants to see. A collision, not with a rival, but between teammates. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, the two drivers leading the Drivers' Championship, found themselves entangled not just in a scrap for position, but in a storyline that every top team dreads. It happened late in the race, right on the start-finish straight. The two McLaren drivers were battling over fourth position when contact was made. Norris ended up in the wall, his race over. Piastri carried on, but the moment had already landed like a thunderclap across the paddock. A team that had looked invincible in unity now had its two title contenders clashing. It was the first real on-track confrontation between them this season, and it could not have come at a more crucial time. Andrea Stella, McLaren's team principal, didn't mince words. He called the incident not acceptable. That phrase alone signals just how seriously the team is taking what unfolded in Montreal. Internally, McLaren has been known for its strong culture of collaboration and respect. But when both drivers are fighting not just for podiums, but for a world title, the intensity naturally rises. And as we saw, when milliseconds matter and ego meets ambition, even the most disciplined garages can fracture. Lando Norris took full responsibility for the incident, telling the media he misjudged it. His words were clear and sincere. "All my fault. Sorry. Stupid by me." Those were his immediate thoughts over the team radio. In a world where accountability often comes second to damage control, Norris' honesty stood out. But honesty doesn't erase the 5-second time penalty he received, nor the growing tension that may now linger between the two papaya cars. To understand how significant this moment is, you need to consider the context. Norris and Piastri are not just two teammates vying for points. They're the leading duo in the Drivers' Championship. Piastri now sits 22 points clear of Norris, and together they've claimed 7 of the 10 race wins so far in the 2025 season. That's dominance, and dominance in Formula One often brings with it a very specific kind of challenge. Not how to beat the others, but how to manage success internally. Toto Wolff, Mercedes team boss, knows this better than most. After the race, he was asked about the McLaren situation. His perspective comes with weight. From 2014 to 2016, he oversaw one of the most intense and turbulent intra-team rivalries in the modern era, Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. And he didn't shy away from comparing that history to what McLaren is now facing. If I go back to 2016 with Nico and Lewis, you've got two drivers only in the fight for the championship. Inevitably, they came together, said Wolff. You've got the same scenario now in McLaren. He even referred to McLaren as a one-horse race, highlighting how far ahead they are in both championships and how that magnifies the difficulty of managing internal rivalry. Wolff also made an interesting point about anticipation versus action. He referenced Zak Brown, McLaren CEO, saying, "It's all very well Zak saying that he's anticipating it, but how do you manage that scenario between two drivers?" The underlying message is that expecting tension is one thing, controlling it is another. Wolff's insight into the psychology of drivers is crucial here. He reminded everyone that from the moment a young racer enters the sport, they're conditioned to win, to dominate. And when you place two of those individuals in the same team with a title at stake, something has to give. It's not about bad intentions. It's about natural human instincts under pressure. McLaren currently holds a 175-point lead over Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship. In theory, that buffer should provide stability. But Wolff argues the opposite. It obviously increases the complexity, he said. You could always argue, well, we need to win the Constructors' Championship. We need to score these points. But in that case, they're so far ahead that it's not even a question whether they will win that. What this suggests is that McLaren's battle is no longer with Ferrari, Mercedes, or Red Bull. It's within. And that brings us to the question that's now front and center in every McLaren debrief. What happens next? How do you manage two drivers who are arguably the most complete package on the grid in 2025? Norris, who has grown from promise to potential to polished race winner, and Piastri, the ultra-calm, ultra-precise rising star who many already see as a future world champion. McLaren has done everything right so far. Their upgrades have worked. Their pit stops are clean. Their race strategies are sharp. But no amount of CFD simulations or wind tunnel hours can prepare a team for internal collisions. These moments test leadership, culture, and clarity of vision. The drivers are different personalities. Norris wears his emotions openly. He is passionate, expressive, and has built a loyal fan base that connects with his honesty. Piastri is cool, calculated, and precise. He says little, but his performances speak volumes. This contrast is part of what makes McLaren's current dynamic so compelling and so delicate. It's worth remembering that even great teams have faced this dilemma. Think Senna and Prost. Think Vettel and Webber. Think Hamilton and Rosberg. The difference is how the team manages the tension. Whether rules of engagement are clear, whether leadership sets the right tone, whether the drivers truly buy into the bigger picture. This incident in Canada may just be a bump in the road, or maybe a warning shot. What's certain is that McLaren now enters a new phase of its title campaign, one where the enemy isn't external chaos or technical inconsistency. It's internal harmony. Fans will be watching closely in the races ahead. Will McLaren implement team orders? Will they clarify the pecking order between Norris and Piastri? Or will they trust in mutual respect and let the fight continue freely? The answer may not be immediate, but what matters most is that McLaren acknowledges the stakes. They're no longer just chasing victories. They are managing a championship, possibly a double championship. And those are fragile things when emotion meets opportunity. For those who follow Formula One closely, this is where the Real story begins. Because the title isn't won with just the fastest car. It's one in how you handle pressure, how you respond to conflict, and how you evolve as a unit when things go wrong. The Canadian Grand Prix didn't just test McLaren's pace. It tested their maturity, their leadership, and their commitment to doing something they haven't done in over a decade, win it all. As the calendar moves forward, McLaren must now choose between reaction and resolution. One misjudged move between teammates can be chalked up to racing, but two, that becomes a pattern, and patterns define seasons. This is why the weeks ahead matter, not just for the points, but for the tone they set within the team. Norris and Piastri are both capable of winning the title. That's a blessing and a burden. It's now up to McLaren to ensure it remains a blessing. So, whether you're a McLaren faithful, a neutral observer, or someone simply fascinated by the human side of elite motorsport, what happened in Montreal matters. It's a story of ambition colliding with teamwork, of trust being tested under speed and spotlight. And if history has taught us anything, it's that how a team responds to a moment like this can define an era. Hello, McLaren faithful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss any McLaren and F1 updates with relaxing ASMR elements. Your support helps this incredible community grow stronger every day, and it's a small effort that goes a long way. Even if you can't contribute in other ways, it's completely free to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications to keep the conversation going and share our passion for McLaren and F1. Your support helps keep the community thriving. Thank you for being part of McLaren Faithful.